Again, tonight we are following breaking news out of Rockcastle County, where a semi and Greyhound bus collided on Interstate 75. This is a live look at the scene. The semi overturned on the northbound lanes, and they are closed right now. We're working on getting you a live shot right now. Now, we do know there are injuries, but we do not know the extent of those injuries. Now, also developing tonight out of eastern Tennessee, police say Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s plane ran off the runway at Elizabethton Municipal Airport and caught fire. That is about 30 minutes south of Bristol. Dale Jr. made it off the plane with minor cuts. He, along with 4 others, including his wife and child, were taken to the hospital. But officials say they should be fine. Senators, state representatives, and Harlan County officials gathered in the Harlan County Fiscal Courtroom to announce a pre-filed bill that would close a loophole that left Black Jewel miners without their paychecks. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks to lawmakers about the pre-filed bill.
Black Jewel miners say what they and their families have had to endure, they would never wish on anybody.
It should be pushed more and more farther down the line, even higher power, to make sure it doesn't never happen again.
Lawmakers say it should have never happened in the first place, as the law requires new coal companies to post productive bonds of 4 weeks' wages to be able to pay the miners in the event of a shutdown.
That's if you're a business that has been in business less than 5 years. So Black Jewel had only incorporated in 2017. They were within that statute, less than 5 years in operation.
That loophole was made by relying on new coal companies to put up their own performance bonds. On Thursday, lawmakers said a pre-filed bill would stop operations for new coal companies that do not post productive bonds.
During the off-season time, there's nothing we can do, but in the new session coming up, we'll be able to pass a law that will close that loophole so this doesn't happen anymore.
Closing the loophole to prevent anything like this from happening again. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The pre-filed bill would also recoup any of the lawyers' fees for the miners in the event they had to sue for their paychecks. Now, tomorrow, miners can meet with lawyers in Letcher County for an update on other legal action. Part of that discussion will be about their 401ks. Miners have access to those plans and need to decide if they want to roll them over to a new account or cash them out. Be aware, though, cashing them out means you will have to pay taxes and a penalty. The meeting is at 11 at the Letcher Circuit Courtroom. The Grethel community can now have some relief as wanted criminal Jimmy Frazier was captured and taken into custody late Tuesday night. He was wanted for multiple charges, one of which he violated a grave. At the Branham Cemetery is where Frazier and another suspect were caught on Sean Keithley's Deer camera, stealing multiple items from his brother's gravesite. He says he has thankfully put the cameras up when he did.
Oh, it's a relief. I'm glad that they got him off the streets because, you know, this is not the only issue that he had with the authority. We needed to get him.
Sean Keithley says the community has been apprehensive about Frazier since his criminal history began back in the early 2000s. They are happy to know their community will be served justice. In Laurel County, police arrested a man yesterday believed to be involved in a hit-and-run crash. This is Roger Vaughn. He faces assault and leaving the scene of an accident charges. On August 4th, they say Vaughn crashed into someone's car at the intersection of North Laurel and Glenview Road. Deputies say he then got out of the car and ran. Vaughn was also wanted on a bench warrant.
We've seen plenty of sunshine today, and if you're a fan of that, well, the good news is we're going to see that continue as we head into the next few days. Let's go ahead and take you to a few of those cameras. Interstate 75 into London. You're seeing a few clouds here and there, but overall, those mostly sunny skies. And looking outside our front porch here at WYMT, check out just how cute those little puffy clouds are in the sky. It's just absolutely gorgeous out there. Beautiful blue skies and plenty of sunshine. We're seeing that on satellite and radar. All of us got in on that sunshine today. Those isolated rain chances remain mainly mainly to the east of us. Those temperatures a little bit on the warmer side, mid to upper 80s, those lower 80s if you're looking up into parts of Moorhead, Wise, and even over into Somerset. But it's those dew points into those lower 60s, some spots into the upper 50s, making it feel a little bit more on the comfortable side, and usually we're near that uncomfortable to oppressive side. Now as we head into the next couple of days, sunshine definitely continues. Those hot temperatures continue as well. Then when we see those scattered rain chances once again, I'll have those details coming up in just a few short minutes.
Alrighty, Paige, thank you. The city of Hazard has begun cracking down on properties not up to code in the city. In June, the city of Hazard sent out notices to 45 properties. We are now seeing some buildings being closed down. WYMT's Connor James is in the newsroom with more. Connor?
Will, those 45 notices basically told some landowners, look, you need to start fixing this or show the city you have plans to fix the problems. Now, nearly 2 months later, those properties that did not meet the requirements are beginning to be closed down. One of those properties recently closed is along Memorial Drive. Tony Eversole, the City of Hazard's Police and Fire Commissioner, said there were a lot of issues with that specific property.
Well, we received lots of drug complaints. Tons of arrests were made here. People walking out into the street, falling out into the street. We've executed a couple of search warrants here.
Now, there are other properties they plan to close down. They've already closed one in the backwoods area. Eversole says for the people living in the homes, they contacted the Red Cross as well as homeless shelters in other counties to help. Will?
All righty, Connor, thank you for that report. Now, the battle between Governor Bevin and Lieutenant Governor Janine Hampton is heading to a courtroom. Today, the Lieutenant Governor filed a lawsuit to reinstate 2 of her staff members. Hampton claims Governor Bevin did not have the authority to fire the 2 staffers. Victor Puente explains the lawsuit and reaction from the governor.
Governor Matt Bevin is already involved with several lawsuits pitting him against his Attorney General Andy Beshear. Now his lieutenant governor has also filed suit against him. That lawsuit was filed today in Franklin Circuit Court. Janine Hampton's original chief of staff was fired in January just after he filed to run for Secretary of State. Then in May, her deputy chief of staff was dismissed. Josh Harp is her attorney. He told me they wanted an injunction that would force the personnel board to honor Hampton's appointments. They're also asking for a ruling that would prevent the personnel board from interfering in the future. That suit says the unlawful actions have prevented Hampton from exercising the rights, authority, and privileges attended to her constitutional office, and those unlawful actions constitute an attempt to partially remove Hampton from her position as lieutenant governor. Our political editor, Bill Bryant, says this type of disagreement is a first for the state.
You know, it's ironic that since the candidates for governor and lieutenant governor under the Constitution started running together as a slate in 1995, that they've often not gotten along. In fact, there's been a lot of tension in several administrations, but it's unprecedented and historic to have the lieutenant governor actually drag the governor into court.
Governor Matt Bevin commented on the lawsuit earlier today while he was at the Kentucky State Fair.
And that's why this is a non-issue. I know you're so excited at the idea of making this into something. It's nothing. There is a process whereby people are hired. There's a process whereby people are let go. And people can try to circumvent that, but at the end of the day, they can't. The process is the process.
Josh Harp tells me they have a hearing scheduled for 10 a.m. Monday morning in Franklin Circuit Court. At the Capitol, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Now, Josh Harp tells us they have a hearing scheduled for 10 in the morning Monday in Franklin Circuit Court. Now back to breaking news out of Rockcastle County this evening, where a semi and Greyhound bus collided on Interstate 75. Nick Oliver is at the scene and joins us now live. Nick.
Will, good afternoon. Well, I can tell you it is still a very active scene at this point. So far, my photographer and I have been watching as several people have been treated here. This is a very large accident. It did involve a Greyhound bus. It also involved a heavy truck that was also carrying some equipment. You can see in the background there that truck is flipped over along with some pretty severe damage to that Greyhound bus. Now, what I can tell you at this point in time is that traffic is still shut down in I-75 northbound lanes. Now, I was told that this that this Greyhound bus was heading from Atlanta to Cincinnati. It is Route 1104. We have reached out to Greyhound for comment on this accident. Now, at this time, they have not gotten back to us, but they do say, however, they are looking into it and trying to figure out exactly what happened as well. Now, of course, we are also covering this extensively at this point, and we're going to bring you updates when we have it. For now, live in Rockcastle County, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
Nick, thank you for that report. Of course, we will continue to update anyone and everyone right here on WYMT and WYMT.com.
And as we head into the next few days, we'll continue to see those temperatures increase into those lower 90s as we head into the weekend. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Coming up, we begin our Living Legends series. Our first installment takes us to Log Mountain as we look back at the success of the Bell County Bobcats and their legendary head coach, Dudley Hilton.